with the Five of Wands, you can see this sense of discord or disharmony that can come. There's a central staff that's now been added. It occludes the diamond in the center. Basically, you can't see that clear diamond anymore. It's moving across that area. And it sort of disrupts that nice balance of two pairs of staffs that we saw in 4. So there's this disruption to the harmony or the balance. There's still buds on the side. There's still a potential for growth. But this card can indicate change, instability from 4. Coming out of that nice balance in 4, we see a sense now of disruption and instability. And this is what Smith is carrying over into her card, her illustration, the sense of instability, which can lead to conflict, it can lead to competition, and she has a group of youths who are very much unstable with their this array of wands. And that's something else you see in the Marseille card, is there's all of a sudden an array of staffs, and she's portraying the same thing. The card is visually filled with all of these staffs in the sense of competition and potential conflict and discord. So the meaning from the Tarot de Marseille is pretty obviously being pulled over into her attempt to illustrate it in the Waite-Smith deck. In the Six of Wands card, again we see this sense of balanced image. There's 2 sets of 3 staffs. And 3 again is basically talking about growth and expansion from 2 earlier in this suit. So now you have 2 3s. So you have this sense of a lot of growth. The flowers at the top and bottom are in full bloom. There's a lot of vegetative growth on the sides of the card. And the diamond in the center has become very complex. And by the way, the center of the card, it depends on your style of reading, but it can represent the person asking the question. But you see there's 4 white diamonds and still the pale blue, so this a sense of clarity and purity, and a lot of red and lots of dashes of greens at the top. So there's this real strong sense of vitality and growth. And this card can represent a sense of harmony. It's a resolution to that discord that we saw in the 5, that disruption in the 5 card. And one of the senses can be triumph or victory, which is what Smith depicts on her card. She shows this sense of the Marseille card of this resolution to the conflict in number 5, and essentially a triumph or a victory over that conflict, with the laurel wreaths and the individual riding on the white horse. So she's very strongly again sort of pulling over the sense of the card and into the illustration that she's creating. With the 7 card, again we see this sense of disruption. There's another staff that's added. It sort of affects the symmetry of the 2 groups of 3s, and again it occludes a couple of the white diamonds as it runs behind this array of staffs. There's no flower at the top or bottom. There's vegetative growth at the sides, however, but again there's a sense of imbalance to the harmony and the growth and the victory of number 6. And again, a sense of sort of challenge or strife is one of the meanings that can come out of this. And this is what she depicts in her card, is this individual with the single staff that's in the center of the Marseille card against the other 6 staffs, basically showing this sense of opposition or disharmony or strife that could be going on. So she's really pulling that meaning out and trying to depict it visually in her representation. The 8 of Wands, again, we get that sense of symmetry and balance. We get the flowers blossoming at the top and the bottom. And this time we get gold for the first time behind the central area of diamonds. And gold representing wisdom, intellect, even the divine. So this makes this a stronger sense of balance and harmony with that color pattern indicated in the center. And 4, if you remember earlier in the suit, growing out of 3, there was this sense of stability and of structure, but the suit has moved along now. It's all the way up to 8, and you have these two groups of four. So a real strong sense of growth has come out of this particular card. And it can represent direction and activity. You see all of the red, all of the green representing vitality and growth. And this is what Smith pulls into her image. This is one of those images that when you're a beginner, I know when I first started, I started reading the Waite-Smith deck, and first time I looked at this card, it's like, what does this possibly mean? And she's showing 8 staffs. They apparently are in the air and descending, so she's trying to represent this sense of movement. And again, this idea of direction, and in the Marseille card, all that red showing vitality or activity. She's pulling that into her representation in the Eight of Wands with this sense of staffs moving through the air, wands moving through the air, and descending. So there's a sense of direction and movement. In the Nine of Wands, again, there's a disruption to the harmony of the two sets of 4 staffs. There's that additional staff added. But if you notice, it does not in any way occlude the golden diamonds. It's not really disrupting the pattern that's seen in the card. There's no vegetative growth. Numerologically, you have 3 sets of 3 to make 9. So there's 3 representing growth. There's growth of growth being represented by 3 threes. So that's potentially a meaning you can take from the cards. But again, there is that all of that red and that one staff that's sort of disrupting the pattern. So the numerical cards of the suit are nearing completion. 10 is going to represent completion. So there's the sense that with 3 threes, there's been a lot of growth. You're nearing completion. And there's this sense of order and discipline, but also the possibility of aggression from the red and disruption. And Waite depicts this in her card. She's basically showing this array of 8 staffs in the background, and again, that one staff that's not in line with the balance of the others is being held by this individual. And there's order and there's discipline, but there's also the possibility of some sort of disruption or conflict, and this individual is ready for that. Her cards visually are, I think, meant to be mnemonic devices. In other words, if you already know the meanings, you put this card down and it sort of jogs your memory as to what this card means. It's not supposed to give, I don't think, all of the meanings, which is perhaps one of the problems that we run into learning the Waite-Smith tarot cards, the suits. We sort of think that there's maybe one meaning because of the pictures that she presented, but she's just giving you one major meaning, I believe, to sort of jog your memory and make you remember what the whole card is about. But she captures this sense of order, discipline, and also potential for aggression and disruption in this card with this image. With the 10 of Wands, we've reached the end of the numerical part of the suit, and you can see this array of wands in the Marseille card just sort of visually fills the card. There's just a lot of staffs that are being presented. There's the golden diamond, golden blue diamond. There's a lot of red. There's a lot of green, so vitality and growth. And the foliage on the sides and buds once again. There's a lot of potential for growth being shown on the sides. Numerologically, 10 can represent the completion. It's the perfect number. It can represent the end of a cycle. And with all of these staffs being presented, it can represent fortune or gain. This is, again, what Smith is depicting in her card as this individual with all 10 staffs in his arms. This is showing sort of the gain and the fortune. But at the same time, that's a lot to deal with. So there's also this sense of trying to cope with everything that's going on. But she's representing this idea that the number 10 represents the completion and this vast array of wands that has been created through the numerical process.